Who is this Kavita Gangovar? You know? So, first of all, let me take this opportunity to welcome the resource person of the day, and that is Dr. Meenu Datta ma'am from Australia, and on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 11, transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Cities and Communities. Today's talk will be having two resource persons connecting from Australia and England, one by one. So I may take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Meenu Datta ma'am. She has offered her services to Indian academia up to approx 17 to 20 years, and she has been NET and PhD in English, and then after that she switched to Australia. And what a pleasure to have you on our forum, ma'am, when world has 3 cities listed as the most livable cities from Australia, and you are staying over there in Melbourne. I think Sydney is probably the best rated city over there and all over the globe. So it is up to you to tell us and sensitize the participants on the topic, sustainable cities and communities. The next resource person is working with the global community in England and imparting education, Ms. Santosh Ram ma'am. Then over to Meenu Datta ma'am, and you are most welcome, and I am wishing you the greetings of International Yoga Day, and stage is all yours. Your slides are very much visible. You are also, audible quite clear. So over to you, and stage is all yours on the Sustainable Development Goal number 11.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm very grateful to MMUT faculty for providing this opportunity to me. So we are going to start with the topic. So my topic for today is transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Cities and Communities. Today, as we know, half the world's 7 billion people live in cities. By 2030, there will be over 1 billion more urban residents, and 60% of the area expected to be urban remains to be built. After 2050, the urban population will grow by 2.5 to 3 billion people, especially in low-income countries, increasing the urban share to 2/3 of the world's population. In this increasingly urbanized world, achieving sustainable cities will be decisive for keeping global environmental and social equilibrium. Therefore, it is very important that urbanization model is sustainable one. Cities, as we know, are a major source of greenhouse gases emissions and pollution on the planet, and the largest consumers of natural resources and energy globally, especially through transport and housing. In the near future, cities will define the quality of life for 2/3 of the world's population. Fast urban population growth, rather than achieving greater efficiency, is delivering losing density, missing social relationships, reproduction of unsustainable lifestyles, rising transportation costs, congestion, and segregation of socio-economic groups. Our cities and communities should be thriving, equitable, and resilient. Places where clean air, green spaces, transport, and affordable housing are accessible to all. We need cities designed for people, not for cars, with efficient public transport and safe streets for pedestrians and cyclists. By focusing on long-term investments in community infrastructure, sustainable initiatives, and accessible services, a system can be created that solves immediate problems and builds lasting stability. Transport accounts for 64% of global oil consumption, 27% of all energy use, and 23% of the world's energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. Each year, almost 185,000 deaths can be directly attributed to vehicular pollution. Sustainable transport includes public transportation, such as electric buses and trains and BRT systems that can carry people far more efficiently than cars. Notably, while electric cars pollute less and reduce individual carbon footprints, they do not reduce congestion. Over 90% of the fuel used for transportation is petroleum-based, primarily gasoline and diesel. From 1970 to 2010, cars and other road vehicles were responsible for 80% of the increase in emissions. Despite the rise of sustainable transportation on the global agenda, the 2020 UN Sustainable Development Goals report states only half the world's urban population has convenient access to public transportation. According to 2019 data from 610 cities in 95 countries, China, as of January 21, had committed 5 times more money to clean energy than to fossil fuels. China, which prioritized electrification of its public transit with subsidies and national regulations, has more than 400,000 electric buses, about 99% of the whole world. To play a role in ensuring a livable future and achieving the science-backed target of net zero emissions, an efficient transport system that is good for people, space, and our climate. So we need to reverse this triangle that we can see on the screen. For today, we are making use of more of the private cars. Shared mobility is being used by some of the aware citizens, but not many. Public transport is lesser in use, and walking and cycling is not at all, is generally being omitted by, is not considered as a quicker way to commute. But we need to reverse that triangle by making cycling and walking as a habit for going to work, for going to study, using more of the public transport, by sharing mobility, and by less using private cars. Communities flourish when we open the streets for everyone to walk, ride, play, explore, and move. When we are on our feet or on 2 wheels, we are getting exercise, moving in safer ways, and feel more connected to the people around us. In fact, research shows riding a bike is the happiest way to get around. So our focus should be moving people and not the cars. So in that way, private vehicles like cars, they should be lesser in use, and we should be more of walking, using bike rides, and using public transportation. So what can you do to ask for sustainable transport infrastructure? First of all, we need to communicate with local council and state government that you want to see better walking, bike riding, and public transport infrastructure. Secondly, if you see a transport problem, speak up. You can identify spots where safety is an issue for walkers. Talk to your friends and family and let them know that more roads are simply not the answer to fixing car traffic. You can dream bigger. Encourage people to reimagine what our public spaces could look like. What is their ideal vision for our transport system? Then break it down and share your ideas with your representatives at the local and state level. So tweaking the way you move when you can. Firstly, write down a list of your most common trips and determine if there are any that are less than 2 kilometers, like going to college, going to uni. Set a goal to walk or ride that route more often. If you're already using a public transport, if you drive to your train station or your bus stand, is there any way you could catch the bus or ride your bike there? Do a shout out to your colleagues, peers or school friends to ask if anyone would like to carpool. It makes the trip way more fun after all. Could you host a car-free day at your workplace, uni or school? There could be prizes for anyone who sticks to their new approach. Check if you're eligible for any public transport discounts. If it's too tricky to adjust the way you move right now, you're not alone. It's the responsibility of governments to empower people with quality, frequent and accessible public transport services as well as safe footpaths and bike lanes. And that's for all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for a very brief interaction loaded with information. And here, as you talk on the, sharing this, let me share a very brief information with all the participants. Ma'am, you please, presentation you can stop then so that I can share my screen also for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Oh, it is there. It is already being presented. Okay. So, yes. Here I wish to share this page with all the friends that here is the list of cities, world's most livable cities, and top 10. You can see Copenhagen, Denmark is the topper of the list for 2025. Vienna, Austria is the second best place to live in. Then Zurich, Switzerland is again jointly on the second position, holding the joint second position. So Zurich and Vienna, Zurich from Switzerland and Vienna from Austria. Then fourth one is your place, Minu ma'am, from where you are speaking, Melbourne, Australia. And then the fifth one is Geneva, Switzerland. And sixth is Sydney, Australia. Seventh place is Osaka, Japan. Eighth is Auckland, New Zealand. And ninth one is Adelaide, Australia. 10th, Vancouver, Canada. These are the cities where people wish to live or where life is better. So, you can see the 3 cities from Australia listing inside it. When you will look there, that is Adelaide on the 9th number, and we can see Sydney on the 6th number, and Melbourne topping the Australian list, you can say, but globally ranked as the 4th best place to live. And what an opportunity to have you as our resource person of the day, and that you are speaking from Melbourne. And when we talk of, livable city, it is not that buildings and roads only they make it livable. Infrastructure is definitely is one of the issue, but on the other hand, security, safety and other features of the people where they feel that they are safe and secure, then they can contribute their level based, they can produce their out of their mind whatsoever they feel is good for the civilization, and that's where lies the quality of the cities. If you go in a way talking on that there is a list of bad cities also, top 10 worst cities to live. If you will go there, you will find that there are cities where people don't wish to go. But I don't want to make any country feel uncomfortable or embarrassed, and we as the global citizens, it is our duty to think of the positive side, and where life is better and where people are feeling safe and comfortable. That's what we should discuss, that how to make our place better, how to make the cities sustainable, where people can have even proper water, proper to drink, proper even healthy food to eat, and healthy health service, better health services and transportation, less emitting carbons and other harmful damaging gases to the human health, where pollution.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yeah.
I would like to share one thing here.
Yeah.
What I've noticed that in Australia, the public transportation system is way better.
Yeah.
People like to commute in public transportation. They don't have to buy the tickets. They have a mighty card. They have a card like we get our Aadhaar card in India. In that shape, everybody's having that card. They can top up it on their own, and then they can use any of the buses, trams, or any village going trains. They are called B-line here. If they are going to the city, they got metro trains there. The same card is used everywhere, and you just have to touch on the screen, and when you are entering the bus and when you are leaving the bus, getting it off the bus or a train, again you touch on the screen. So it is completely hassle free, and people like to go, like using these public transportation. The people who are going to city for work from their own places, they like to use bikes. So bike riding is quite safe. We are having separate lanes on the roads for bikes, and then they go to a train station, park their bikes there, which are completely safe. Like nobody's stealing or anything. As you know, the government is providing that safety, security, and people are also very responsible. And then they use the public transportation, move to their places. So it's quite convenient for the people. And the credit goes both to the government and to the people. For the government to provide this all facility, all the transportation system, and people who are making use of that, who are quite responsible citizens. So I think this kind of idea, this can be used in India as well, where we see that more of the traffic is booming on the roads all the time. So if we can make our public transportation more reliable, then people will definitely like to use that.
Yes, definitely these, and above board the safety and security features, enhancement of that, and accident-free journey, and where public feel safe and secure, model of for them, whether they are traveling in day or night, or better green cities and green transportation towards relying on the like zero effect, zero defect model, and a lot many things that can be discussed and planned and implemented to even I look at that Japan is Osaka from Japan, and apart from that, I don't think that any Asian city is in the list. None of the Asian city is there, and somewhere we need to look for the construction, making buildings. Not even Americans. I don't think any city from America is also not there, and not even I think any city is from England also. But from UK, and but that way, having 3 cities in the list from Australia is really a remarkable kind of growth that is and the kind of sustainable model they are adopting and they are using. And even inside Australia, I don't know, you may better remark that what makes Melbourne better and advantageous over Sydney and Adelaide. I would love to listen your comment on that as well.
So Melbourne has been for 2 years continuously, it has been world's best livable city. And I don't remember the year, but it has been at #1 list. And the basic thing is the cleanliness, safety, security, greenery, better transportation system, and awareness of public. Because even the people contribute a lot when any city becomes world's most livable. It's not just the government, but the responsibility of the citizens as well. They don't, I've seen people, they are taking their dogs for the walk, but they are not littering on the road. If there is something, they are just picking it up. They are putting it in the bins which are available on the sides of the roads. So it is a responsibility of citizens as well. We can't just rely upon the government. The government is providing, no doubt, all the infrastructure, all the facilities are being provided, but people are also quite educated and they are aware of that they are to keep their surroundings clean. So credit goes to both of them that Australia has got 3 cities in most livable cities.
So nice talking to you, ma'am, and if there is any question from any participant, they can put it in the chat box, or they any observation. I think we have Professor Prabhakar Tiwari Sahab, who has been resource person, and even Samarendra Pratap ji, who is inside the list. So if you can make any comment, any remark on this talk, or you can any suggestion will also be, we would love to welcome it. So any of the connected faculty colleagues, please feel free to share your opinion. Okay, so let me invite the second resource person, and beforehand I would extend my thanks to Meenu ma'am. So I am getting continuous messages from her, and she will be joining soon. Santosh ma'am, are you there? From UK.
Hello sir, I'm on. I'm just getting it set. Bear with me please for 1 minute. Thank you.
Okay, we all are set to and waiting for your nice talk.
Yeah. Hello, good morning.
Very good morning, ma'am.
Is it okay? Am I all set to start?
Yeah, your slides are quite visible. You are set to start.
Okay, thank you very much once again, Dr. Sudhir, and all the academicians and the institute. It's always been a pleasure to be with all of you, and I'm richly blessed that I know a person called Dr. Sudhir Narayan Singh. So here we go once again, and the presentation today is on Sustainable Development Goal number 11.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, allow me to avail a minute to introduce you to the audience.
Okay, sir. Okay, all right.
We have a very, very dedicated and seasoned academicians. I have been lucky to work with her during the year 2007 and 8 at the premises of lovely professional university. There I, could meet you and saw your level of commitment as faculty member. Then you switched to Bradford, England, and then you started working there. And the resource person of the day, Miss Santosh Ram ma'am, is CELTA qualified from Cambridge University recently, and then after that she started, teaching there to the international community and offering her services to the many more institutions. Very recently, until very recently, she was associated with the Adult Education College, Wolverhampton. Before that, if I am not wrong, you were in 2018, you were in Bradford upon Avon, I think.
Wolverhampton.
Now you in Wolverhampton. 18, you were in Bradford. 2000,
No, I wasn't.
2018.
I'll get it correct, sir. I came to Wolverhampton in 2012, and 2013 I was working with Indian Consulate in Birmingham, and then I topped up my qualifications, as you just said, with CELTA PGCE. That was here at University of Wolverhampton, and I think from past 5 years I've been teaching here in almost all of the colleges of Wolverhampton. That is to say TLC College, City College Wolverhampton. There are only, in every city there is only one college mainly. And then last year I was with Adult Education College, and today I am here with your university.
Yes, ma'am. You can switch on your video as well if you feel comfortable.
The thing is, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
Right, I think it's fine. In the end, I will try to share the camera as well.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, as the title in itself on the slide shows to all of you, the presentation is on Sustainable Development Goal number 11, that is to have sustainable cities and communities. And as the subtitle, as the madam before me from Australia, she's already said, that is to make our cities inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. So basically the presentation is about multiple meanings of the English alphabet, being a language teacher. English alphabet P, that is to say planet, Hamari Dharti Maa, Mother Earth. Number 2, people, hum. Number 3, profit, industries. And number 4, policies, plans and programs by the government. And that is what we are going to discuss for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll try to make sense to all of you. I'll get to the next slide here. Okay, let me get it on my phone. Sorry. I think you guys have got the slides with you. Is that okay? Is it okay now the second slide is on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Yes. So, introduction to the Sustainable Development Goals. Just to, I think all of you are already very, very learned people. You know it that Sustainable Development Goals, these were launched by the United Nations in September 2015, and officially they came into force on January 1st, 16, and the target here to achieve is 2030. And the purpose of this goal is to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all. In other words, It's all about ensuring Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Bhavantu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha. That's what we all pray every day, and that's what the goal number 11 is about. कि हम सभी को सुखी देखें, किसी को कोई रोग ना होए, सभी को अपना भाई बहन समझें और कहीं भी कोई भी दुख हमें देखने को ना मिले, चाहे वो दुख ह्यूमैनिटी का होए, अर्थ का होए, पोल्यूशन का होए, whatever. And that's what it is about. And let me read it first. It says, what is sustainable development goal number 11? It says to make cities and human settlements inclusive. You know, the wars are going on everywhere. In England, we have people from 67 countries. It's a microcosm of the macrocosm. It's like a bouquet of flowers in a vase, right? So Wolverhampton, it tries to make the life here inclusive, wherein we meet the language barriers. We give the universal credit, which is called money. We give them the hotels and give them the food. We try to provide the best of the best facilities so that they are trained and they can contribute into the economical growth of the country. So the goal is to make the life safe, resilient and sustainable, and that is why 50% of the world lives, they are living in urban areas. And now at the same time, 50% of the people and 70% of the global carbon emissions, and that in itself, the rate is alarming. And why? Because cities basically are the economic powerhouses, but at the same time they face challenges like pollution, inequality in the distribution of resources, that's what we call haves and haves not, and inadequate infrastructure, right? So just to give you a bit of more detail based on all these points, so you can just passively listen to me, I'm sorry. It says, everyone deserves to live in a world where the cities and communities are designed to be inclusive, safe, resilient and sustainable. We all have a role to play in helping the United Nations achieve this goal by the year 2030. But this idea of sustainable city is not a new idea. Ancient civilization, for example, when man started hunting for finding food or he found the spark for fire, etc. That was actually the start of making our lives easier. And another example which I can quote is of the Greeks who designed cities for the benefits of its citizens. They made it easy to travel by planning streets in straight lines. They kept everyone fed and watered. They set up markets, buildings, aqueducts, and even pioneered the public parks where citizens can relax and enjoy the nature. But today, our definition of livability, that has evolved slightly negatively. And we need to reflect the needs of people living in modern world. So this goal number 11 wants people to feel safe to travel, as the Miss before me, she has said already, through their communities, to have access to affordable housing and connect with their neighbors in shared spaces at public events. That is because communities thrive when people develop a sense of ownership and belonging. And that is why cities are important. Cities provide creative and productive infrastructure or network, that is to say the jobs, and cities are the key to social and economic organizations, bringing together people through jobs and other inputs for economic growth. But at the same time, complex urbanization challenges requires a commitment from its stakeholders, that is urban planners, architects, property developers, construction industry, and all the other levels of government and citizens. So just to show you here, this is where we are as per the Eurostat in terms of the number 1, where the heart is, premature deaths, you can see that, then the road traffic deaths, and then the housing deprivation rate, and the last one, recycling rate of waste management. And these, I mean, the decrease is concerning. Why? Because these things are the core parts of this goal, and we are very sadly and badly lagging behind in all these areas. Now, the next thing, is the key targets. Just to let you know of, like, to read through the headings, what are the areas that this goal number 11 covers. Number one is that we should make sure that the access to safe and affordable housing is there for every citizen of the city or the country, right? As I have just said, people of 67 countries live in only and only Wolverhampton, just one city of England, right? What to say of London or any other cities. So you can imagine how the life is complex, and at the same time it is running very smoothly, ensuring all these goals, right? So number two is sustainable transport system, inclusive urbanization, protect world's cultural and natural heritage, reduce disaster impact, that is to meet with the floods or the road potholes or any natural calamity which I can't recall now, I'm sorry. And then air quality and waste management. So these are the main target areas of this goal. And the next slide is just to show you the facts or the stats in these areas. So 1 in 4 urban residents lives in slums. Very poor people, or you can think of the labor class, you can think of the people, those who are houseless, homeless, jobless. And then cities consume over 60% of the world's energy through the industries, through the electricity, car, petrol, and everything that is beyond description and beyond imagination. And 90% of urban residents breathe polluted air. I think I can quote here New Delhi. And global urban population expected to rise by 70% by 2050, and India, China and African countries are in the lead to it, right? So that's what the stats are saying, and it's not happening, especially in Asian countries, especially in India at all. I'm very, very sorry to say that I have to quote my own country, that we are not being able to ensure what the key targets are, whether it is housing, whether it is transport system. Punjab ch कहंदे हुंदे सी आ गई रोडवेज दी लारी, ना कोई शीशा ना कोई बारी, and the situation is still the same. That was the hearing when I was very, very little, and we see it even today, which is very sad. And then the urbanization, cultural natural heritage, we still see the advert over here in England also. Pan khake, people are so like irresponsible. That is just one example. And then disaster impact, we still see the floods in India and the air quality and waste management. I think in Punjab, just Sinchewal is a saint. He has just cleared up one river, and that is just one example set by him for the others to see and copy. And then we are back to the challenges here on the slide number 7. So the challenges to achieving this sustainable development goal number 11 is number 1, rapid urbanization. Punjab de sare kisan, that is another problem. You can see urbanization, that is a problem because the government is trying to capture the land, make industries, and they are opposing it. And then urban poverty and inequality. Within the city, it's not important that everybody is rich. And it's not, it's always what we see, there is always another side of it. So if somebody is living in the city, it's not that he or she is rich. And so there is inequality in terms of the, let's say, haves or haves not, jobs, resources, area, and the facilities. Then poor infrastructure, climate change, natural disasters, waste management issues. These are here. We have make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe and resilient and sustainable. That is what our goal says. But the real picture is slums are on the rise. 1.1 billion urban residents are living in slums. 2 billion are expected in the next 30 years. And then globally, only 1 in 2 urban residents have convenient access to public transport. Means like in Wolverhampton, the transportation distance is within 1 kilometer. But I don't see it like in my own village in India, Punjab, Kartarpur. We have only one bus stop, and if I miss my bus, means I have to wait for another bus. I can't move to the next stop. And then air pollution is no longer an exclusively urban problem. towns experience poorer air quality than cities in Eastern and Southern Eastern Asia. And then 1 billion people lack access to all weather roads. Even I can't drive here when it is snowing, and last year I nearly, was going to meet with an accident when the bus was coming. So we don't have all those kinds of roads to meet with the heat, with the wind, with the winter, with the snow. And then 3 in 4 cities have less than 20% of their area dedicated to public spaces and streets. Means to say about the gardens, parks, allotments, and the greener areas or the bigger streets, and then much lower than the target of the 45 to 50%. So another picture just to go through over it, and this is about the air pollution, and I'm not going to read all of the names. I think we can see the bars extending from the Asian countries. And I think New Delhi, we all know what is happening over there. I have already quoted with the air pollution level. It should be 10, but the countries are exceeding more than 70, 60, 55, 64 and 52, which is very, very concerning. And then the strategies. I think Dr. Sudhir Narayan has already showed us the page with the names of the country. I'm going to add into that number 1 here. I'm going to read the slide first. The key trend obviously is the massive rise in technology and its use, specifically with the Internet of Things and the intranet of things. That is to say, paying of the bill of the electricity online, then the roads, the buildings, vehicles, hybrid buildings, and as Madam said, the transportation card, or even our contactless cards, and that will be connected to the network in smarter cities. And now the next slide is global progress. So what is global progress on it? Mixed progress across countries. Slum population still high, over 1 billion people. Investments in sustainable transport system is rising. And I'm going to quote a lot of examples now on this slide. Air pollution remains a major issue still. Now, one second please. Number 10, 11 and 12. So we are here. Yes, examples from around the world. Let's read the slide first. It says number 1 country is Brazil, sustainable public transport. Then Copenhagen, Denmark. As I was watching the video last night, if you can all find 1 minute and go and see how are they doing it. The mayor in himself, so committed. The people, their commitment, everybody literally is on board. The city is like bursting bikes everywhere, and the water is so clear that everybody is swimming, and they have done it by themselves. How? That's what we need to learn. And then the industries, the emission, they've got the filters, and they are the role models for the world, and that's what they are. Very committed, very dedicated. And they all functions such as energy efficiency, minimizing the time spent on the road, and development of e-services, which minimizes the paper usage. Another here is by balancing the demand of social and economic development with careful environment and innovative urban governance, and thus bringing together all of the goals, not just the goal number 11 or other goals. All of the goals together, they are related, interconnected to each other in one way or the other. And I'm going to add one more example here. The Kilis refugee camp. The Kilis, their refugee camp in Turkey, for example, is a temporary community houses that is designed to last longer, and it is managed by Turkish government, and the residents live in concrete shelters rather than tents, and that gives them a sense of stability. And another example is of, bear with me please 1 second, I just had a sip of water. And in Scotland, Rakes Afzal, he set up a community fridge and where people could access food donated by local businesses. And in New York, the disused railway bed was transformed into a high line an eye-catching public space where citizens can mingle, relax, and